My name is Pam Powers Smith, and I am the new president of the Opelika Chamber of Commerce. I've had that job for 1 month, but also was very familiar with the organization before I started working there. So had a working relationship with them and knew the staff before starting up there. The Opelika Chamber of Commerce is a membership-based organization, and they promote business within the city and help small businesses succeed. And they also do a little bit of outreach to industry in the community and then individuals in the community also, just trying to bridge that gap of business versus community.
And so how do you help these local businesses?
We do that a couple different ways. We offer lots of seminars, so for folks that maybe are not good at some things, maybe they're great at some things within their business, but then they need some help in some areas that they're lacking in. We provide lots of business seminars for these folks. And then we also are probably the go-to place for networking. So we're always having events so businesses can meet one another. And that's really the training ground, especially for people new in a business or new to town, is to really kind of train people to support one another. So, figure out who your chamber members are and go to them first. So those networking opportunities are a good way to teach that.
So, but you guys provide all these ceremonies and events to network, right?
Yes.
So you're really encouraging your local businesses to network.
So yeah, maybe we should start saying that. We provide classes on networking. I think it's extremely important, but I also think it's a dying skill. I think, just from seeing all the interns I have on a regular basis, it's just not something quite as common that they learn as it was when I was in school a million years ago. I think for someone that can actually perfect networking, they've got it made, because so few people know how to do it these days.
So what do you teach people about networking then?
Just that it's important to build relationships. Because of technology, I think people have gotten to where they just don't think that's important. They think they can email or text and just ask for things. Well, you have to have a basis for that. You have to have a relationship first before you can do that. And so I think we always try to hit home with folks that we want you to not only build relationships, but build relationships with us and our people.
And the networking you do with all the community and the businesses, is that through social media as well?
Also, yeah. So in addition to having the opportunity to see each other in person, which is nice, it's almost like a nice follow-up to that meeting. So, say we have an event where we're getting some folks together to network and having a cocktail reception, well then there's always pictures posted afterwards. There's always a follow-up the next day on social media, just so that these folks can reconnect a second time. So I think that's the bonus of it. It's extra.
And you say you help local businesses in different aspects. Does that include social media or their websites, or?
More so at Main Street. Probably the involvement we have at the Opelika Chamber level is either connecting them to someone that can help them specifically, and then obviously just promoting what all their social media outlets are, and then their websites also. So promotion and getting the word out about those avenues are really the involvement that we have now.
And what kind of advice would you give them, social media wise, and getting their name out there to the community?
That they have to do it.
Yeah,
and I think, and that's something that I've probably preached for a really long time, that if they're not doing it currently, then they really need to get on the bandwagon rather quickly. So that's something I would say at any Opelika Chamber member, that if they're not on social media, that they really need to do that, because you hear these standard responses all the time that it's free, and yes it is, so that's your main reason you should be doing it. But then secondly, it's just an opportunity to reach people that they may have never reached before.
What kind of social media platform do you like the most?
I think you have to figure out who your demographic is. So for the Opelika Chamber, Facebook is primary, just because we know our demographics a little bit. But then Instagram would be second for us, and Twitter third. And Opelika Main Street probably still followed that, although Instagram was becoming almost more popular than Facebook for Opelika Main Street.
One takeaway for any local business to promote their business, what would be that takeaway you would give them?
To do it consistently. Don't take a break. Don't ever take a break. I think that's the biggest thing for me personally. You can't take a week off. You just can't, especially on social media. You can't take a week off anymore. People are looking for it, and then you're going to drop out of their mind, and they're going to forget about you. So consistency.